Alright, hello again. This is the next installment for Gemsnoot. This is OEQ. And, pardon me, I got some nose issues going on a little bit more than I normally do. I'll try to keep the sniffing to a minimum. I realize that is a bit of a problem in my videos sometimes, and excuse me. This might be a little shorter episode than normal. Might be a little bit more of an update because I don't want to annoy people. So here we are, back in Steam Font, and I am level 6 on this Necromancer. I have yet to go back and sell anything at all. I've not bought any spells. I've not bought anything whatsoever. I think I'm going to get that origin thing, put that there. Incidentally, if you didn't know, the Merc gains Merc XP at this level. It's not very much, but it is gaining for the Merc AAs from the moment you start playing with a Merc, even at level 1. So the first job, somebody that is like me in EverQuest that doesn't group very often and either boxes or just, plays solo like I do, what you're going to want to do is get going on a Merc from the word go right off the bat. I just don't like to bog my bags down a lot. Probably don't need near the amount of bag space that I have, but I have it. I'm going to go with this series for a while. I've recently got a decent idea though. The Faydwer V server is a server that has people's curiosity quite often, because they like the idea of the loot rules that they have on it. Not because they want to role play, because it's known as sort of a role play only. You know what? I probably should have to sell, but I don't know if I don't know. I'm not going to hit this bug glitch thing with them. Oh, whoa. That one's gone, man. What the heck? Did I wreck it? Is that still gone from when I was here last? I don't know. That's kind of funny. The Grickbar Cobalts. They're super slow runs. I think my nose is coming down now a little bit. Anyway, so the Faydwer V is and people are curious about it. They're like, oh, this sounds like a pretty good deal. Not to role play, but just to be able to buy a lot of no-drop gear that you can't normally on a regular server, or even the FTP or FTP. The TLP servers don't have that kind of a rule system. I think there's one other server that has special loot rules like that you can sell and buy normally no-dropped items. But I kind of forget the name of it. Maybe if somebody wants to holler in the comments what that is, or if I decide not to be too lazy, I might actually look it up and put it in my next video, but I'm not going to look it up now. But if memory serves though, which obviously is not serving very well right now, but if it serves in this capacity, as far as how well it went over, it didn't go over all that well. For whatever reason, the other server that used that loot system did not succeed. Oop, large rat. Oops. At least I can target that easier now. It didn't succeed as near as much. Don't know why. If you think about how slow this seems, this is actually, so I'm doing half-hour increments. I have not touched this character since the last time we played. And this is level 6. This is a pretty good representation of not just hours played on a character, but real, sort of real life time and what it means, right? Oh, it's not back yet. Probably should just concentrate on these 2 camps over here. I suppose I could chance it and see if I can get this guy out of here, see if he bugs. I'm going to see if he bugs. He didn't. Okay. Well, that went okay. Anyway, so I've thought about maybe, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll either start doing this on the FV server, a solo capacity, if it's possible, from level 1. Maybe restart the series, or maybe even possibly do a different class. I don't know. The Necro class is just such a, it just lends itself to solo play. And since that's kind of what I do, it's hard for me to really imagine playing a different class in the EQ. Great, it bugged out again. Son of a gun. These stupid kobolds. Yes. Where are they going? This is so stupid. Talk about a shit game, man. I'm sorry. There's some stuff they just totally dropped the ball when they developed this game. You know, I know it's huge and it's hard to, you know, concentrate on this and that or whatever, but good God Almighty, where's the standard quality standards, man? There's got to be some standards. Ooh, he's fighting that one. Okay. At least I'll get loot. I'm too far away to get experience, but maybe I'll get the loot. Look at that. Won't let me have it. Oh man, it's got gloves too. Why didn't I was present? Oh, that sucks. Stuff gets locked out like that. It's just best just to frickin'... Okay, so now I know these huts are okay to pull from. These huts are just as bad as the other huts. Ugh. Irritating. This crap. Stupid. This is like a starting zone. How many years has this zone been operating like this? How many? In literally years. With this pathing bug, it's just crap, right? All right, I'm not going to complain the whole video here. It's just that type of stuff just drives me crazy. Frankly, I think it's one of the reasons why I just stopped playing for a good long while. I just got so sick, and they were cranking. Last time when I quit EverQuest for 5 or 6 years, whatever it was, I did that during the time pretty early on, like around in 02, 03 or something. I think it was 03. Back during the time, maybe it was, I think it was 03. During the time, that's a bag. It'll bring in some money. When the game was, I set my timer. Okay, this time on this episode is going to be kind of messed up. Alright, I'm going to guess I've been, well, here we go. Let's just do played. This session has been 14 minutes, so I'm only on my clock. I'm going to go for another 15 minutes. Okay? Small cloth sandals, do I have those? I do, so screw them, I don't need these anymore. These over here. Anyway, they've had years to have this squared away, right? And you know people have complained about this before. It's not like they don't know it's here, right? And they've just never fixed it. You know why? Because, I don't know. Now they can claim lack of resources. Before, it was a different excuse. It's always some kind of excuse, right? Why they don't fix something. You know, like I was saying, you know, back when I quit before, a lot of stuff was screwed up, and I was just like, man, why don't they just, you know, work on fixing all the bugs, right? And this is back during the time when they were basically shoving out a new X pack every 6 months. It was just about, maybe sometimes a little more, but it was more than once a year. It was more often than once a year. Absolutely. Way more often than once a year. I don't know why I did it with my mouse, but oh well. And there's just a bunch of stuff that's, you know, they don't care to fix it because people are still logging in and playing and giving them money. Right? And that's stuff that I'm an older guy, I'm a consumer that just do an always need thing on that, because Defiant gear is actually pretty good pet gear. The absence of like new school real pet gear like you get from mages, absence of that stuff. Did I say this? Yeah, this is no good. Alright. So maybe we'll get level 7. And just, I mean, kind of think about this for a second as far as how much time this takes to level in this game now, and then back in the day it took even longer. Right around this level range, around level 6, 7, this is when it, for the average player, the average person that's not addicted to the game, it's about when they would start taking several days, even as much as maybe not a week at this level range. I remember being like level 12 on my ranger, my first character, technically my second, but really my first character. I was like level 12 trying to get level 13, and for a good week, it took almost a week to get level 13. And then that's around that range is when it started taking me around anywhere from 5 to 7 days playing every day. Every day, and I was playing, what was I playing? I was playing probably 6 hours a day. Sometimes on the weekends as much as 8 hours in the day I was playing back in the day. Because you needed right around that level range also for a lot of classes. You kind of needed to be in groups to realistically be able to kill stuff at a decent rate. a decent rate back then means something way different than it does to the people nowadays. But that's what it is. So just think about how much of your life it just sucks, right? So it's not that shaman. I wonder if that makes a difference. As far as loot goes, probably does. He's still coming by himself. Not exactly a rare mob, probably uncommon. What we got here? Worn weighted gloves. Milk beast. It's good to sell. So yeah, it takes time, man. Takes time out of your life on this hamster wheel. Okay, they're generic, but I already got 2 of them, so screw them. Alright, got about 9 minutes to go. This is the 3rd episode here, right? It's the 3rd episode. And so I've played this. When I'm done here, I will have played this tune for an hour and a half. Which is, it's not bad for the Defiant, maybe? Yes. Booyah. Defiant. Not Defiant. Defiant. It's just stuff to... Defiant. I'm keeping the Defiant stuff separate, and then the other stuff I'm just going to sell, like this entire bag I'm just going to sell for spell money, and I'm going to sell all this crap probably. I'll keep the food and water that I'm actually going to... None of the stuff I can use, but I'm going to throw this on pets when I finally start using a pet. I haven't decided if I'm going to use a pet as early as level 12-ish or so, 12, 13, or if I'm going to hold out all the way up to maybe level 20. I do want to start getting into more of a traditional sort of Necro kind of groove with the play style. Frankly, this method here would be more efficient. Is going to be more efficient than doing that, as far as trying to level as fast as you can. But that's not what I'm about. That's not what the series is really about. This is about really the, playing a Necro in a convenient old school style. Right? This is kind of old. Right now it's not old school, but I mean, my goal is to give an example of sort of an old school style of Necro play, meaning, who gives a damn about the achievements? Nobody cares about tasks. What you care about is, well, you used to care about grouping. Technically I'm grouping with a computer character right now, so it's grouping. Kind of. It's really solo, but anyway, but it's, I'm just not, I like to smell the roses, and I don't always like to give in to the most efficient way to do everything. Doesn't make sense to a lot of people, I know, and that's okay. As long as other people acknowledge that the way I do it is okay also. Oops, I think I goofed up, right? I was supposed to leave these alone because of the way they bug out. Maybe if I get right in here and I do this, it's better, huh? believe I found a way around this dumbass glitch. This broken glitch. The devs don't seem to want to spend any time on fixing. Alright, I think there's one back here. There we go. I mean, it's really, now I kind of understand. It's just too late. I'm not talking about now. I mean, I'm talking about holding them accountable and for the behavior they had responsible for, stuff they were responsible for decades ago, right? They were cranking out content every 6 months when they had bugs galore that are still present in the game to this day. This absolute day. There are bugs, pathing issues, just horrible, no excuse kind of bugs that got through QA somehow that they have just decided to just never fix because it doesn't impact their bottom line probably or something. I don't know. It's a little bit of a shame. It's an irritation for me though, so. It's a definite irritation, as if you can't tell. Okay, I play this game in Linux, and I also have issues with my Vulkan drivers for the graphics. And so there is that. I've looked it up, and the NVIDIA 470.74 drivers look like they might be able to fix the issues I'm coming across, because it fixes issues with older games that are within the realm of this one, specifically Quake 3 that I've heard, and some other stuff that evidently the Vulkan drivers have had issues with dealing with textures and things. There's memory leaks that has to do with the graphical memory that's happening on some games also, rendering them literally unplayable. I think they're mostly Steam games. I don't know, I forget the names of them exactly, but my point is that my flavor of Linux that I use is called Pop! OS, made by System 76, and they have been in contact with NVIDIA for some time, reporting and trying to get a handle on these issues with their drivers as it pertains to their distribution, Linux distribution. And evidently the problem is that while on other distributions those drivers are working okay, on my specific distribution known as Pop! OS, they're having some issues with the actual operating system and some glitchiness that's happening with the GUI, the graphical user interface for the distribution. So the bottom line is, for Pop! OS, the drivers are not up to snuff and they're buggy, and I've been in contact with them trying to get them to help them fix it or get them fixed, and NVIDIA is very slow to pay attention to anything that has to do with Linux. So, but this has been a thing that's been going on since I think September. So it's been, 4 to 6 weeks or whatever, however long it's been. So I got hope that hopefully things generally happen pretty fast for Linux as far as bug fixes, security patches, things like that tend to happen pretty quickly. And because of that, yeah, maybe this graphical issue will be finally fixed. I don't know, maybe in a month or so, by the end of the year. I'm hoping by the end of the year. If I think of something that like that a win as a win, then I'm like, okay, I can deal with that. And whenever it happens, I'll feel good about it versus expecting it, say, by the end of October, and then be disappointed a little bit every single day into November until they get it fixed finally. I don't like to think of it that way. It's just a situation I would like to avoid. And we're at about that time as I got crude defiant cloth. Yes. This is going to go back over here. That is just a sell. Working on my second bag of just vendor loot. Third bag if you count this bag, I suppose. But that one's a super big one that takes a while for it to load up. Alright, so I'm going to go back over to the and we are level 7. Look at that. Awesome. Level 7 in Steam font for this half hour. And take it a half hour at a time, real time. Get an accurate representation of what it takes to level and what it takes from you. This has been kind of a negative episode. But just know that the graphic issues, if this annoys you, I've gotten used to it, but if you don't like seeing it, and this has colored your opinion of the videos, sorry. But it's out of my hands. Hopefully it'll get fixed. I've tried messing with the settings. I even tried doing some updates and poked around on the internet for additional information last night to try to see if I could fix it, just to try to up my production value of the videos, and that's what I come up with. I just simply have to wait for NVIDIA to fix what they need to fix for Pop! OS. So there we are. You guys have a great day. This is ODQ signing out.